Tuesdays, we like to do a little game called Something or Nothing. Dan O, Dan Graziano, Mike T. Okay, Graz, you're at the owners' meetings. All the action's taking place there. So let's start with you. NFL owners, they're pushing this 18-game season. Is that something or is that nothing?
Oh, it's very much something that they have been public about their desire for this, and I think it's something they believe they'll eventually get. The question, of course, is when and what form it takes. The CBA, which runs through 2030, expressly permits any further expansion of the regular season. So in order to get to 18 games, they'd have to redo the CBA. And the Players Association just elected a new executive director in J.C. Treader, so they're still getting their feet under them in terms of where they're going to come down on this. So I think it's a little ways off. They either have to wait till 2031 to do it or make it a part of a renegotiated CBA. And if the latter is going to happen, they probably need to get going on that this offseason.
Mike T., how do you think this is going to affect teams when they're trying to build their rosters?
Significantly, Brian, in terms of right now you have 53 players on the roster, 48 on game day. How you sort of think about roster construction from depth in terms of maybe a couple extra skill players because of soft tissue injuries. I also think you'd see significant rule changes in terms of IR being able to bring players up and down rosters. So I think an extra game creates a lot of new sort of like rules within the ecosystem.
So is this going to positively, negatively affect the game, you think?
Well, I think it could water down early season play. We've seen that a little bit with the 17th game added. The number one question I have is what are the players going to get? It certainly seems like this is going to happen at some point. What are the players going to get out of it? We know the NFL wants this massive global footprint. It's already started. Every team potentially playing a game internationally. It's just going to have a tremendous impact on travel for teams and how much they value September games rather than December games, or January.
Okay, so the league is also talking about getting set for replacement referees. Is that something or nothing?
This is something. And one, it's ludicrous in my mind that we're here. From what I've read, the NFL and the referees are at a battle of one, the referees wanting a lot more money, not a little bit more money, a lot more money. Number two, the NFL wants a ton of accountability. And it seems like the official or the referees don't necessarily want that. We've seen this not play itself out well in the NFL. The third thing is the NFL wants meritocracy. The great officials get the playoff games. The referees seem that age or experience, they want that to be a part of the playoff conversation. I'd say this, with all the gambling scandals going on in sports, the last thing that we need is replacement officials being impacting in the NFL.
We just saw that video there in 2012. It was a disaster, that Hail Mary play that they got wrong there. Graz, you're there. What are you hearing?
The league is not happy with the state of the negotiations with the NFL Referees Association. Their agreement runs till the end of May, but the league is prepared to go ahead with onboarding and training replacement officials as early as May 1st. So some progress needs to be made here over the next couple of weeks, or else the league is going to start moving down the road with training the replacement officials. They felt like they waited too long to get on that in 2012. And they want to start it earlier if that's going to be a thing. They're also, Brian, going to talk this week at the owners' meeting. They're going to vote on a proposal on whether the league can weigh in on and correct mistakes by replacement officials. You know, so you could see like the eye in the sky from New York chiming in to change calls if they do go ahead and move forward with this. So they're laying the groundwork for replacement officials.
So, Mike, did you just hear that from Graz where he says, okay, the NFL's like, oh, boy, we need to get on maybe training these guys. How concerning is all of this?
Very concerning, Brian, as Dan O alluded to, you think about gambling now in 2026, but also all the extra technology we have with instant replay, more camera angles, and it just increases the scrutiny of the officiating performance. So to me, look, deadline spur action, we all know that. Hopefully there's a sensible solution. Given how well the game is growing, and we're talking about globally, the last thing we need is to be questioning the performance of officials any more than we do. So hopefully both sides can get in a room and we get this worked out, because replacement officials does not help anybody.
All right, so I want you guys to take a listen to Sean McVay, who acknowledged, the Rams explored the possibility of trading Davante Adams. Listen to this.
if we felt like it was best for our team, we would have done that. But we didn't think it was best for our team. And so excited about being able to move forward with him. I think one of the things that there's a lot of narratives that are out there. What I do think is important is that you address the things that our players could potentially be affected with. And so I believe in dealing with those things directly. He's a grown man, and he's a great player. And so at the end of the day, there's a lot of different things that go on. We're always looking at ways to upgrade our roster and feel like we can be as competitive as possible.
So Graz, Davante Adams led the league in touchdown catches with 14 last season. I mean, is the idea of basically his future and trading him, is that something or is that nothing?
I think at this point it's nothing. My understanding is the Rams had checked in with the Eagles about the potential of an A.J. Brown trade. And if that had happened, they probably would have had to move on from Davante Adams because they're about to give Puka Nacua a monster contract extension. A.J. Brown comes with a big contract. Davante Adams, $28 million cap number for this year. So they wouldn't have been able to have all three on the team. So I think that's what Sean McVay is addressing here, that possibility. And unless the Rams are going to revisit a potential A.J. Brown trade, which I don't get the sense that they are, I think they're happy moving forward with Davante Adams in the role he played in their offense last year.
What do you think, Mike T?
Well, first of all, I think it's something, and I'm really surprised that Sean McVay would say it publicly, like good people like Dan Graziano and Brian Custer would cover me at the Jets, and anything we would say could become stories. Yeah. So you would try to tamp things down. And the other thing we got to remember is, Brian, you alluded to, he led the league in red zone and touchdowns. He was massively important in that red zone offense. He's going to be 34. And to me, the Rams are the ultimate win now team. So I was surprised that his name even came up. I know it was probably likely in that A.J. Brown discussion, but if we're trying to win right now, to me, Davante Adams is going to be like the perfect piece for this season, not long-term, again, because of his age. So I was surprised that A, they were going to do it, and B, that Sean McVay would even admit to it.
Yeah, that's why Sean McVay is one of the best coaches in football. That's his secret sauce. As smart X's and O's as he is, he's unbelievably truthful. You as a player, Sean fired me. Like, you as a player, you never have to question if you're getting the truth and getting it in a respectful way. I think the Rams are fascinating from this regard because the Rams are a rare team in the league that you can truly sit there and go, they have to be all in right now. Like, they're one of the 3, 4, 5 teams that no question can win the Super Bowl, but you also can't be so all in that you totally forget about the future because your quarterback's age.
Right.
As great as Stafford was last year, his age is what it is. Yeah. And so you're in this balance of, do we want to take this player or this pick and get somebody that we think can impact us right now in 2026 to go win the Super Bowl? Or do we want to move this player or this pick to maybe start to rebuild or retool this roster for another run because our quarterback's not 33 or 34 years old. He's getting older. So I just think they're fascinating the way that they view their football team.
It'd be interesting, too, to see if they revisit this, let's say, after June. Maybe that's a discussion we'll have a little bit later in the show. All right, coming up, it's back to basketball. How about LeBron's big night in L.A.? Are the Lakers more dangerous than everyone thought on the way in when Get Up rolls on?